Prabhu's mom and dad, I will read the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and somehow I will also read the Gita Mahatmya story so we can acquire its benediction. And I won't delay on this, and I'll try to go as fast as possible, because Maharani's limiting us here to 31 minutes. Yeah.
What's the what?
It's always late, and then they start over there, you know. Class has been time.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, Nature, the Enjoyer, and Consciousness. Text 1 and 2. Arjuna vacha prakrityam purusham chaiva kshetram kshetragyam eva etadaitam ichchami jnanam geyam cha kesava. Shri Bhagavan vacha idam sariram kunteyash kshetram ityavidiyate etajaveti tam prabhu kshetragan iti tadviyaha. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, and the field, and the knower of the field, and of knowledge, and the object of knowledge. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, this body, O son of Kunti, is called the field. And one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. Kshetragyam chapi mam vedi sava kshetre suvarita kshetra kshetragyan yoganam yattajganam matam mama. O Skarna Bharat, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. And to understand this body and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. Tat kshetram yatscha yadrikcha yadikari yatascha yat sachayo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrinu. Now please hear my brief description of this field of activity, how it is constituted, what its changes are, whence it is produced, who that knower of the field of activities is, and what his influences are. Rishi bir bahudagitam chandra bir dividai Brahma sutra padai chaiva hetu madhya vinishchitai. That knower of the field of activities and of the knower of activities is described by various sages in various Vedic writings. It is especially presented in Vedanta Sutra with all reasoning is to cause in effect. Mahabhutani ahankara buddhya abhyaktameva cha indriyani dasaikam cha pancha sindriya gocharaha ichcha dvesha sukham dukam sangatas chetanaditi etad kshetram samasena sadhikaram udahitam. The five great elements, false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, and convictions. All of these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interactions. Text 8 through 12. Amani tvam adambi tvam aham sashanti ajavam acharyopasanam sautram sthiryamatma vinigraha indriyatesu vairagyam ahankara evacha Janmamritya Jaravyadi Dukkha Doshan Dashanam Asaktir Ani Vishwangaha Putradara Grihadisu Nityam Cha Sama Chittatvam Ishanishta Papatisu Mai Chananyat Yogena Bhaktirabhya Vicharini Vivikta Desha Sevitam Aratir Jana Samsadi Ajatma Gyanam Nityatvam Tattva Janata Darshanam Etadhyanam iti proktam abhyanam yat atthonyata. Humility, pridelessness, nonviolence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the objects of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of the evil of birth, death, old age, and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest. Even-mindedness admit pleasant and unpleasant events, constant and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge. And besides this, whatever else exists is ignorance. Text 13. Geyam yatat pravakshami yajdantva mritam ashnute anadimat param rama nasatan nasaruchate. I shall now explain the knowable, knowing which you will taste the eternal. Brahman, the spirit, beginningless and subordinate to me, lies beyond the cause and effect of this material world. Swavitta pani padam tat swavit tokshi shiro mukam swavitta sruti maloke sarvam avritya tishtati. Everywhere are his hands and legs, his eyes, heads and faces, and he has ears everywhere. In this way, the Supersoul exists, pervading everything. Savindriya gunabhasham, savindriya vivarjitam, asaktam svabhavichchaiva, nirgunam gunabhokticha. The Supersoul is the original source of all senses, yet he is without senses. He is unattached, although he is the maintainer of all living beings. He transcends the modes of material nature, and at the same time, he is the master of the modes of material nature. Bhakiranta Bhutanam Acharam Charam Evacha Shukshmat Vatad Avigayam Durastam Chantike Chatat. The Supreme Truth exists outside and inside of all living beings, the moving and the non-moving. Because he is subtle, he is beyond the power of the material senses to see or to know. Although far away, he is also near to all. Avibhaktam cha bhutesu vibhaktam eva chastitam bhutta brati chatadeyam gratishnu Prabhavishnu cha. Although the Supersoul appears to be divided among all beings, he is never divided. He is situated as one, although he is the maintainer of every living entity, it is to be understood that he devours and develops all. Jyotisham apitad taj jyotis tamasa paramuchyate ganam gayam ganam gamyam ridi sarvasya vishtitam. He is the source of all light and all luminous objects. He is beyond the darkness of matter and is unmanifested. He is knowledge. He is the object of knowledge, and he is the goal of knowledge. He is situated in everyone's heart. Iti shetram tatagyanam gayam choktam samsataha madbhakta etad vijnanya madbhava yopapajite. Thus, the field of activities, the body, knowledge, and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain to my nature. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanadi ubhavapi vikaram cha gunam chaiva vidi prakriti sambhavan. Material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the modes of matter are products of material nature. Kalyat karana kartritve hetu prakritir uchite Purusha sukha dukhanam bhoktritve hetu uchite. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is the cause of the various sufferings and enjoyments in this world. Purusha prakritisto hi bhukte prakritigyam gunan karanam gunasangosya sarasat yoni janmasu. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. Upadrastanumanta cha brata Prota Maheshwaraha Paramatmeti Chakyukto Dehesmin Purusha Paraha. Yet, in this body, there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists, is the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the Supersoul. Ya evam veti purusham prakritim cha gunai saha savita vartamanopi nasa bhuyo vijayate. One who understands this philosophy concerning material nature, the living entity, and the interactions of the modes of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth here again, regardless of his present position. Dhyanenatmani pashanti kechiratmanamatmana anye shankyena yogena karma yogena chakpare. Some perceive the Supersoul within themselves through meditation, others through the cultivation of knowledge, and still others through working without fruitive results, fruitive desire. Anye tvarevam Ajnanata Shrutva Bhebhya Upasate Tepi Chati Tarant Yeva Mityum Sruti Parayanaha. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about Him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. Yadvat sanjayate kinchit sattvam stavara jangamam Kshetragan samyogat tadviri bharatashava. O chief of the Bharatas, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of the field of activities and the knower of the field. Samasovesu bhutesu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyat swavinashatam vinashantam yapashati sapashyati. One who sees the supersoul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the supersoul within the destructible body is ever destroyed, actually sees. Samapashyani sarvatra samavashtitam ishwaram nahi nashyat manatmanam tatoyati param gatim. One who sees the supersoul equally present in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination. Prakrityaiva chakarmani kriyamanani sarvasaha yapashiti tatatmanam ekataram sapashiti. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees that the self does nothing, actually sees. Tada bhutta pritak bhavam ekastam anupashiti tateva cha vishtaram brahma sampajate tada. When a sensible man ceases to see different identities due to different material bodies, and he sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. Ananitwan nirgunat vad paramatmayam abhyayaha sarirasto pikonteya na karati na lipyate. Those with the vision of eternity can see the imperishable soul as transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with the material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Yata sarvagatam shankshad aksharam no palipyate Svabhatra vastito dehe tatatmano palipyate. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all-pervading. Similarly, the soul, situated in Brahman vision, does not mix with the body, although situated in that body. Zitta prakasayat eka Krishnam lokam imam ravi Kshetram Kshetri tata Krishnam prakasayati bharata. O son of Bharata, is the sun alone illuminates all this universe. So does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. Kshetra kshetra ganyo evam antaram ganam chakshusha uta prakriti moksham cha ye viduyanti te param. Those who see with the eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in material nature, attained the supreme goal. That was the final verse, verse 35, a little bit of Prabhupada's purport before the Gita Mahatmya story. The purport of this 13th chapter is that one should know the distinction between the body, the owner of the body, and the supersoul. One should recognize the process of liberation is described in verses 8 through 12. Then one can go on to the supreme destination. A faithful person should at first have some good association to hear of God, and thus gradually become enlightened. If one accepts a spiritual master, one can learn to distinguish between matter and spirit, and that becomes the stepping stone for further spiritual realization. A spiritual master, by various instructions, teaches his student to get free from the material concept of life. For instance, in the Bhagavad Gita, we find Krishna instructing Arjuna to free him from materialistic considerations. One can understand that this body is matter. It can be analyzed with its 24 elements. The body is the gross manifestation, and the subtle manifestation is the mind and psychological effects. And the symptoms of life are the interactions of these features. But over and above this, there is the soul, and there is also the super soul. The soul and the super soul are two. This material world is working by the conjunction of the soul and the 24 material elements. One who can see the constitution of the whole material manifestation is this combination of soul and material elements, and can also see the situation of the supreme soul becomes eligible for transfer to the spiritual world. These things are meant for contemplation and for realization, and one should have a complete understanding of this chapter with the help of the spiritual master. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. So, there is a pastime that proves the greatness of just this chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And it is spoken by Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva continued, King Vikram Betal ruled over the area of land called Simhadweep. One day he decided to go hunting. He gathered together his sons and two favorite hunting dogs. They galloped off toward the forest. Upon reaching the trees of the forest's edge, he spotted a wild rabbit. So he immediately released one of the dogs. The dog sped after the rabbit, and a chase begun with the king and his son in hot pursuit. After much running, the chase finally slowed down as they reached a beautiful hermitage. The entire atmosphere of that place was very peaceful. Deer were contentedly grazing in the shadows of the fruit trees, while cheeky monkeys were jumping in the branches, eating the fruit. Baby elephants were playing with tiger cubs in the grass, and snakes were slithering closely among the proud peacocks, not caring that those birds were normally their deadly enemies. In the midst of this scene, a resident Brahmana of the hermitage, had just finished washing his feet, leaving the earth in that spot wet and muddy. At that time, something wonderful happened. The running rabbit and the pursuing hunting dog both slipped in the wet mud and immediately attained divine bodies. At the same time, a glowing aerial chariot descended and swiftly took them up to the heavenly regions. The king, witnessing all this, was amazed and approached the Brahmana, who, being highly amused by those events, was laughing heartily. Smilingly, the king asked, "Dear Brahmana, I have never before seen such an incredible thing. As you appear to know something, please enlighten me." "Yes, it is all very wonderful," replied the Brahmana. "I will explain to you the cause of the rabbit and the dog ascending into heaven before our very eyes." The Brahmana continued, "In the forest lives a great sage of the name Vatsa, and he taught me to be always engaged in chanting the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. I was chanting those immortal words of Lord Krishna while washing my feet, and his power obviously entered into that water, consequently releasing both the rabbit and dog from their earthly forms. That in itself should be no surprise. But now I will tell you why I was laughing. In Maharashtra, there is a town called Pratuda, and living there was a so-called Brahmin by the name Kesava. He was very cruel and had a wife called Vilopana. She had no self-control and enjoyed the company of many men. For this reason, her husband became mad with rage and brutally killed her. Because of their sinful activities, in their next life, Kesava became that rabbit, and Vilopana became the dog. After hearing this wonderful narration, King Vikram Beka was so inspired that he took up the daily recitation of the 13th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Upon leaving his body, he assumed a spiritual form and went to Vaikuntha, where he engaged in the eternal service of Lord Sri Krishna. Thus ends the pastime story of the 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we actually finished maybe 3 minutes ahead of time. Are there any comments or questions?
What is the title of the 13th chapter?
Nature, the enjoyer, and consciousness. Ashtika Prabhu.
So Prabhu, is the book that you are reading from, does it have Gita Mahatma on each chapter?
It has the pastime story of each chapter. It can be a large work because they generally include Sankaracharya's glorification of the Bhagavad Gita. And then you have these stories from the Padma Purana. This is condensed. And generally, before reading the Bhagavad Gita, one reads these pastimes and then reads the Gita. But that may take a full hour of very fluent reading, to do that. I generally just read the little condensed story from the Gita Mahatma and, just run through slokas, Sanskrit and English as best I can.
Another time I heard you reciting the chapter 7 also.
Chapter 7 I do for a lot of shred ceremonies, but Durgesh Prabhu has perhaps done 10 of them. So I must have read the 7th chapter 2 or 3 times.
Oh, okay.
It has a lot to do with the shred ceremony because the pastime story, the Brahmin in that story is a big maza, and he's very attached to his wealth, and he dies remaining extremely attached and takes birth as a snake ghost guarding that wealth which he has hidden away. Didn't even tell his family where it was. So he got tired of being in that ghost body. So he entered into his son's dreams and started telling them to do something. And one of them took the dream very serious and went looking for the wealth and happened to dig where the snake ghost was living. And thus a conversation ensued. And the snake ghost pronounced that, how can you be my son when you're not doing anything to help me? And so then the son says, well, what can I do? The father said, I got this body because of being a miserly person, and you're headed the same way. So the son says, what can I do? And so he says, there's nothing you can do. There's no austerity you can perform. There's no charity you can give. There's no religious ceremony you can perform. The only thing you can do is to have one Brahmin come who regularly recites the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Have him recite that chapter and then feed him sumptuously. So they call one Brahmin. The Brahmin read that chapter, and upon reading that chapter before their very eyes, the snake ghost turns into a divine being, a Vishnu Duta, and ascends to the transcendental world. So then the sons, they also start hearing and reciting the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. They take all of their father's wealth, and they build wells and parks and public works and make temples and support the Brahminical culture. And that way they also transcended this world. So that's why I read this. He told them to do that, but he told them to do that as a performance of the shred ceremony. Specifically says that. He says perform the shred ceremony by calling one Brahmin to recite the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. And then feed him sumptuously, because in a shred ceremony, you at the end you feed everyone sumptuously. Okay, so Durgesh is prepared now to feed everyone sumptuously. He's sponsored the feast, and we thank him very much. Him and Mataji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama.